Well, hello everyone, and welcome to what is a very special edition of the RaceSpotTV Friday primetime here, in the days before the 2022 iRacing Daytona 24-hour event. Well, we're going to have our usual programming of the Touring Car Challenge coming up first, but however, in around about an hour's time, we'll have a different crew doing the top split of the IMSA official race in just a handful of moments' time. So you definitely want to stay tuned to everything going on this evening here in Friday Primetime. I know you do anyway. My name is Connery Maddock. I'm joined by the ever-wonderful and ever-present Stefan Schlacker for this one as we get this TCR sprint race out of the way first before we go to Daytona for a little bit of a preview as to what's happening on the weekend. So Stefan, we're here at Summit Point here for the Touring Car Challenge, and well, it's one of the rookie tracks here on iRacing. If you're basically going to get yourself into a Mazda to do the rookie series, Summit Point's going to be one of those tracks where you are going to hone your skills. But we're back here in the TCRs and should give us some fantastic action as well, given that, well, the car manufacturers themselves are pretty close, so therefore you are seeing a little bit of a split in terms of which car people have chosen coming into this one. But either way, I think this is going to work out pretty well as a touring car circuit.
Yeah, Connery, I already predicted last week that we might see a little bit of a different shape and form up on the top of the standings, but I didn't expect our three manufacturers to be this close together here at Summit Point, and we're only talking of a difference of about 0.3 between those three cars, and that's just on a single lap. So really, it is all gonna come down to driver performance rather than car performance here tonight.
Yeah, I definitely think so too. That's the situation that we've been handed for the moment. Qualifying is still going on out there at the moment, though. 3 minutes left of it, and that's, in fact, get ourselves some on-track action. There is the driver of Ade Lopez, who's out there on his final and third lap at the moment in the Honda Civic this time around. So we're seeing a big split between the Hondas and the Hyundais coming into this one. We do have two Audis. They're coming towards the back here in qualifying, but two of them nonetheless. So all three manufacturers are represented here today as we see Ade Lopez head his way out the final corner, down across towards the start-finish line. It's a long run towards the start-finish line here, so I wonder if we'll get to see any drag race action photo finish across the line. Lopez is going to be abandoning his lap here, however. Getting some practice starts done, which is actually one of the first times I've seen someone actually try and practice the starts here in this series.
Yeah, practicing this start will be crucial because no first corner is as important as Summit Point on our schedule thus far. So Ade Lopez practicing really marks down exactly that, how important this corner is, just basically because it is so hard to pass at Summit Point in TCR cars. And by the way, we right now have one Hyundai in the form of Kira Wolf leading 6 Honda Civic Type Rs. And then we have once again a Hyundai Civic, so Hyundai Elantra rather. So really interesting how this is playing out right now. Fastest Hyundai leading 6 Hondas. Didn't expect that. Thought that Audi will be also having a saying much at the top.
A one and only RaceSpotTV producer and real-wheel driver of a Hyundai would be saying that it's Hyundai like Sunday, I think is the pronunciation guys that he was given. So I think we should probably go with his word for it as we ride on board with Jack Johns. Trying to wheel that Honda Civic around this very short circuit. The lap times, well, the best lap times in the 1:15s, but Jack only in the 1:16s at the moment. Let's see if it's going to be an improvement coming across the line this time around. This will be his final attempt. There's not enough time left on the clock to go back around for another full lap. So where's Jack Johns going to be on the starting grid here today in the number 7 car? You'll be hoping top half, but with the weaving across the line, I don't think he felt confident in that one whatsoever. So as we get ourselves transferred over into the race session here, Stefan, we can actually take a look at your starting grid for today. And, well, who other than Kira Wolf starting on pole position? Another one in the bag for Wolf here this season. Naveed Hussain always up there, second place to start here today with Tobias Loeb and Manu Reolago bringing things down to P4 on the starting grid. Adecopa Lopez starts in 5th with Christian Wolf in P6. Then you have Kevin De Pauw in P7 with James Holman P8. Jojo Boldy starts in 9th with Javier Carre in P10. Erwin Luskowskis in P11 and John Brown in P12. We do have to cycle things through rather quickly because it seems like everyone has gotten themselves to the starting grid already, and off and away we go. They didn't give us a lot of time to go through the grid there, Stefan, but off and away down in towards turn number 1 for the first time. Kira Wolf has been able to get an immense start from pole position. It's going to be a 3-wide situation for P2 on the way down in towards turn 1. They go 2 by 2 instead. That's Hussain getting shoved out a little bit. Car very unstable, has to wind it around the outside of the first sector here, but he keeps still on the grey stuff. Fantastic stuff. Good car control. Still fighting further behind as we head our way in towards the left-hand kink. This is Kevin De Pauw. And big shove. De Pauw gets all sorts of sideways and out into the gravel. He's able to rejoin at the back, however.
Yeah, I'm not sure if Kevin De Pauw there had a little bit of an off by himself or if he got shoved off, but most definitely grass was involved in all of that as we have another car in the background sideways off the track. That was Aaron Lucas Lischkovs, which, there we go. So no real dangers right now for everybody, just a little bit of offs here and there for drivers. Really impressed that everybody kept it this nicely together thus far.
Yeah, absolutely. So this is the battle for P2 at the end of lap number 1. Kira Wolf has been able to pull away by almost 1.5 seconds already. An incredible performance in the opening stages here, and well, if you get that good of a start in such a short race, then there's going to be not a lot that the other drivers behind you can do. Challenge on the brakes though, coming down in towards turn number 1. This is Naveed Hussain trying to recover a couple of positions after that poor start. He does get past Manu Reolago, so Hussain up into 5th place. Next one down the line is a teammate of Christian Wolf.
And something happened to Erwin Lukas Lischkovs again, because he was off in turn 1, plummeting down the field. Now being in that last, there's a side-by-side door banging between the 414.
Yeah, and well, this is touring car racing. There's a shove to the back bumper, moving Wolf out of the way. Well, I alluded to the fact they're teammates. They're just running the same livery. They're not actually teammates, and I think you can probably see the result of that as Christian Wolf of Manu Reolago now having to go wheel to wheel through that intersection, and Wolf swings by ahead as Olago gets himself right on towards the rear bumper of that Honda. And, well, it's caused a bit of a stack up behind, doesn't it? Because James Holman and Jojo Boldy are now looking to try and get stuck into this battle through the final corner. This is for positions just, well, around about the top 5 here as they head their way down the pit straight once again. Big opportunity to make moves on the brakes into turn 1 here. We're seeing Manu Reolago still ahead of a battle now. This is Holman and Boldy going wheel to wheel into the braking zone. And, well, Holman on the inside, able to get the momentum and get the speed off the corner, although change of position ahead in progress. Manu Reolago is not done with Christian Wolf whatsoever.
Yeah, but Wolf has the inside now for the wagon bend, but gives it up. A little bit of a shot in behind, and once again a little bit side by side for the Wolf. Just can't catch a break right now. Christian Wolf can't get into his own rhythm, constantly gets attacked by other drivers, just not finding any space to himself right now.
Absolutely. So it's yeah, Holman is involved in the thick of things here. It's Joshua Boldy also in line as well. All of this fighting for these positions is just allowing the podium runners to get away, by the way, as Kira Wolf maintains the 1.4 second advantage at the front of this. Then you've got Adecopa Lopez, second place. Tobias Loeb in P3 at the moment, trying to catch Adecopa Lopez. We'll have to see if he finds any success in that in the not too distant future, as we are on towards lap number 4 then, and still this mid-pack train fully established. No challenge, no moves on the brakes this time into T1, but well, it's not going to be long before these TCRs decide to give us a little bit of a show once again.
Yeah, most definitely that's the case. Getting a little bit strung out now, but there we go. 5 to the inside of the 40. Just a little bit of a look. Decides better of that through Wagon Pen. That's a very nice choice. As that's the 11.
That is Joseph Koenig. Koenig is out into the gravel and, well, getting back up into racing speed now. We'll just have a little bit of a look to see exactly what happened there, because I'm not sure if it was a bit of car-to-car contact or if it was just a solo car incident. Let's just take ourselves another little look at that one, shall we not? So out of the first sector then, everything looking fine. Looks like he's got no one around him, at least in his immediate vicinity. So this might just be a single car incident, and yes, it was on the entry.
It is such an easy mistake to do right there into Wagon Bend. Goes a little bit too wide. You have that extra timing, but that is a little bit of a false sense of security with that timing, because it closes immediately, and that's exactly what the 11 had there. Sadly goes on there, spins it out. That's the second spin today already that we saw through Wagon Bend.
Yeah, it is. So this is the battle for 6th place here. Christian Wolf, James Holman, Jojo Boldi, Javier Cadre in this one as well. With less than 10 minutes left to go now. So these races, they do go by in a blink of an eye. It feels like I would love to have some longer races here in the TCRs, but maybe we can't get all that we want in life. But there's Christian Wolf holding on to position at the moment. P6 has a bit of a train of cars behind him that are pretty eager to get through, and we've already seen in this race, Stefan, that some of these guys, they do like to get the bumpers out if they feel that they're being held up.
Yeah, I mean, that is just touring car racing in a nutshell, if we're honest. It's all about using that bumper with finesse to get yourself past someone else. By the way, speaking about getting past someone else, I've tried to speak about it for 3 laps now, so let's try it now. Arecopa Lopez, what a first lap this man had. From 5th to 2nd in just half a lap. Great start. Sadly, just can't get up to Kira Wolf now.
Oh, dive to the inside there for James Holman in the number 5 Hyundai on the inside there. This is the Honda on the outside. The Civic will get the better speed off of the corner here, but they still have an overlap in towards the kink. There's a bit of a lump and there's something more. As Wolf goes out into the gravel. Thankfully, in these front-wheel drive cars, you can just mash the throttle and they don't tend to go all the way around. But yeah, that's what happens if you attempt to go side by side through the left-hand kink.
Yeah, that was most definitely a little bit clumsy by both drivers, sadly there. Once again, I'm gonna go on to replay. Look exactly what happened there. Maybe the 14 closed the door too quickly. Yeah, just ever so slightly closes the door on the 5, and 5 nowhere to go, touches the 14 into that spin.
It does. So back into the live pictures then, as we head our way into, on lap number 6 at the moment in this situation, onto lap number 7. Almost 7 minutes to go as well. We're expecting 12 laps here today. As, that little incident punting Christian Wolf a little bit further down the field. Of course, able to avoid all the barriers, able to avoid all other cars, so he can continue out there. These TCRs tend to be built of pretty strong stuff. They don't very easily get themselves too damaged, so it's going to still be a recovery drive for Christian Wolf, but it could definitely have ended up being a worse situation. So I'm seeing the gap for the race lead coming down at the moment, by the way. Remember when I said that Kira Wolf had brought that gap up to 1.5 seconds? It's now down to 1 second, 1.1 seconds back to Arecopa Lopez. So Copa Lopez is putting in a massive effort. You mentioned his fantastic start, Stefan, but I think he might want to go for it all, go for glory.
Yeah, I wonder what is the case right now, if it's Kira Wolf starting to slow down because of tires, or if Arecopa Lopez is getting faster. Might just be that Kira Wolf is starting to feel a little bit of that tire life, because on average Kira's laps are a little bit slower than Arecopa Lopez, but it's only 6 minutes. I wonder if Copa Lopez is going to be there at the end.
Yeah, you have to wonder. You really do. The gap has stabilized a little bit now. It hasn't crept any more under that 1.1 second advantage that Wolf has at the moment. So maybe that was just a little bit of an off lap from Wolf that brought Lopez back into things, back into the picture slightly. Let's have a look further back then, because well, even though we had that contact for P6 a little bit earlier on, there is still a battle for P6, by the way, because we have James Holman here, we have Jojo Baldi, we have Javier Carre, we've got John Brown also on the tagging onto the back of this as well. So this mid-pack fight is certainly not done at this point, and well, you can see the differing lines being taken through the middle sector there by everyone involved, as Jojo Baldi not only has to look ahead of him, but he's got Javier Carre right on his rear bumper as well.
Yeah, in this pack, everybody's having everybody else on the rear bumper, it seems like, at least at some point in the race, because I don't see these guys to stretch out anytime soon. Even if this race would take on for another 2 hours, I think these guys would still be nose to tail until the very end.
Yeah, I think so too, as well, under 5 minutes to go now, as Jojo Baldi falling off the back of James Holman just a tad. Might come under threat from Carre behind. John Brown had his nose stuck out in the middle of the straight there as well, so he wants to try and press forward in the dying moments of this race. They're absolutely nose to tail through the first sector. It's impressive stuff between these guys, as you know, there's only a handful of laps to go now at this point. You know, you can't just be sitting in line anymore. You want to be trying to gain those positions, but where do you do it? You know, that's the main issue, because if you take too long in that battle, then you're going to have less luck trying to get more opportunities further down the line on cars that are further down the line. So here we go, all clustering up through the hairpin. No contact made, of course, but I wouldn't be surprised if there is by the time this is done.
Yeah, we might just see the calm before the storm right now between those guys for 6th place. They're not going to go anywhere else, because 5th and 4th place, Naveed Hussain and Manu Reolaro, they are most definitely well out of this picture, but we might even see a fight between those two for 4th place going to turn 1.
Yeah, potentially that is one of the other things. Here we go, defensive line all the way to the inside for Naveed Hussain. He simply doesn't want to give up that line away. So Alago has no option but to go the long way around and try and cut back off the corner, try and carry some speed. Is not successful in this instance, however. So he's just going to have to remain behind, show the nose all he wants into the kink. He's simply too far back to go for a move, even if he wanted to. So yeah, this is where things might heat up between these two as well. So we've got the battle for P4, we've got the train going on for P6 as well. Lopez is catching Wolf slightly once again, but I don't think it's going to be quite enough to be able to do anything at the end of this race. But we will just have to wait and see, as Hussain and Alago follow each other so tightly coming through that middle sector. And of course, we do have to keep in mind that battle for P6 behind as well.
Yeah, Cobo Lopez right now catching Kira Wolf by about a tenth to half a tenth per lap, so it's really not that much of a game, but Cobo Lopez also not that far behind at the start of this lap as was, only 9.5 tenths between 1st and 2nd place, so that might be something to have an eye on. And also, I'm really not sure, James Holman, he is starting to creep away from 7th place, but at the same time makes too many mistakes to really get away from them.
Here we go. Oh, was that a little bit of a tap there? Not too sure with the nose on camera into T1, but Hussain able to keep himself ahead for now. That was a little bit too close for comfort, though, as we look at back at that mid-pack train. It's about for P7 between, or rather P8 between Javier Carre and John Brown. So Brown getting himself involved in this, but Carre able to keep himself ahead, and we've also got John Simeons behind as well. So everyone looks to try and get themselves stuck into this train. Why not? It's touring car racing. You might as well try and muscle your way through somehow. We're in the dying moments of the race now. Start of the next lap will be the last lap as someone goes for a spin. That's John Simeons. Simeons has a spin and just causes cars to scatter behind. But able to get back rolling, and well, Christian Wolf, I think, also involved in that one as well. So he hasn't had the best of times here today, but coming on towards the final lap then. That's the confirmation. The white flag is waving. Barney the flagman on the flag stand, showing the white flag to Kira Wolf. So one more lap to go. What's that battle for P4 doing? Let's have a look. Manu Reolago looking to the outside, in towards the braking zone for turn 1. Hussein, well, he's typically been pretty good in trying to defend that inside and getting the momentum off the corner required, and he has done so again. So fantastic stuff from Hussein to try and defend this one. That's one of the main big opportunities taken away from Olago, but there are still a few more over the course of this lap. Making sure you get that run through the kink and then be able to make a move on the brakes into the downhill section and into the hairpin might be the option that Olago goes for. Hussein slightly towards the inside to try and cover off the line. Still no way through for that number 3 Honda behind. It's Honda versus Honda for P4 here at the moment. And, well, time is about to expire. Hussein keeping himself ahead. The overtaking opportunities now at the back end of this lap are so limited. However, we go towards the very front of the field because it is another race win out of the final corner for Kira Wolf. The number 2 wins here at Summit Point Raceway. Let's have a look back to P4. Well, there wasn't anything Olago could have done at the end of that as Naveed Hussein comes across the line. Going to be a bit of a drag race to the line, but either way, Naveed Hussein, P4, holding on. Fantastic defensive drive for the driver of the number 4. I think Jack Johns and Dominic Kortum are just trying to fight for things there back in P10. Kortum coming out on top on that one, I believe. And, well, we had a bit of an action-packed race here, Stefan. I'm pretty happy.
Yeah, it really was a great race, and we even finished off with a banger as for celebration. Kira Wolf destroys their Hyundai engine.
Yeah, well, that's going to be a pretty expensive replacement there. But thankfully, this is sim racing and such things do not matter. Let's have a look then at what does matter, and that's the finishing race results. Kira Wolf wins by just over 0.8 of a second back to Areco Balopes, with Tobias Laub in P3, Naveed Hussein in P4, able to hold on to that position despite a hard charging Manu Reolago. James Holman comes home with P6 in amongst that chaos that was the mid-pack, with Giorgio Baldi in P7, Javier Care in P8, John Brown in P9, and Dominic Kortum rounding out the top 10. Then towards the bottom half of the field, we got Jack Johns, Kevin Randapov, we got Christian Wolf, we got John Simeons, and we've got Christoph Epster in P15. Thomas Kronenberg in P16 with Cardigan Durson in P17, Joseph Koenig in P18, and then Erwin Liskowitz rounding out the 19 cars. Everyone was able to get themselves to the checkered flag in this race. We had 0 retirements, and everyone finished on the leading lap too. So that's just a lot of positives to take away from this one, Stefan. That was a pretty good race.
Yeah, it was a very great race, and you know what? I hate to say it, but the bad start from Naveed Hussein. He had a great launch, but the first few meters he mashed his throttle a little bit too much, had too much wheel spin, and that sealed the deal for P1 because we came out of lap 1 with a 1.8 second difference between first and second, and Areco Balopes wasn't able to get back into that gap again.
Well, that's unfortunately all that we're going to have time for here for the iRacing Touring Car Challenge for the RaceSpotTV Friday primetime. However, you do not want to navigate away from the RaceSpotTV YouTube channel. I will post the link in the chat to the IMSA Top Split broadcast that is about to go live in, I think, about half an hour is the situation there. So that is going to be our Daytona 24-hour preview. It's a fantastic, action-packed weekend of racing for us here on RaceSpotTV. But my name has been Conry Maddock, and I've been joined by the ever-wonderful Stefan Schlacker for the Touring Car Challenge. Head on over to the IMSA Top Split broadcast to give those guys on the broadcast that your support and see perhaps some of the drivers and teams that will be competing in the iRacing Daytona 24-hour this weekend. But for us here, we'll have to say goodnight and goodbye. But go on over to the other stream, please.